I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I am talking to a phenomenal author, a prolific author of nearly a dozen books. His name is Stephen Sweigart, and he joins us live right now on Spotlight. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you.
You have written a lot of books. Most notable among them, perhaps, is The Curse of Prometheus, 1994. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Yes, that was a part of a longer poem, "The Martyrdom of the Revenge of Art," 1992, 1994. It was a computer poem. It was in BASIC. I studied that at the local Canham County College after I graduated from Temple in English, and it's just the text because I haven't been able to translate BASIC yet, programming. It's the text, and I first published The Curse of Prometheus because it's the most accessible and probably the best part. It's the whole poem, The Revenge of Art, is 6 parts and 2 unfinished parts. It starts with part 8 in my 8th book and ends with the complete 13, and this is 12. It's called Dower 12. And I use 12 because it's based on Curse of Prometheus is based on medieval play because I felt that was the best thing for the Curse of Prometheus myth.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you figured this was the best form to present this in, and you chose a surrealistic modern style as well.
Yes, I had a whole course in James Joyce Finnegan's Wake, and I had a whole course in Ezra Pound's The Cantos. And besides studying Shakespeare and Spenser and Chaucer and I studied Chaucer too. But I studied medieval plays on my own, and that's where I came up with it. If you don't mind me talking a little, it has about falsehood, insanity, uh, uh, all these things that are like the medieval plays where they get up on a scaffold and they talk and they represent a virtue or a vice. And this is what happens with the Curse of Prometheus because it's the Pandora's box, which is when Pandora opened the box, which was given to her by Zeus, which she wasn't supposed to. All the afflictions of mankind came out, and this is like the pandemic. Actually, all the afflictions of mankind came out, except for the last one was hope, and that was hope. But that's what the poem is. It has all these afflictions in the poem, and it also deals with the myth itself. It has Pandora, Emitheus, Prometheus, and it also has the director of the nation.
Okay, tell me, you've written a lot of books, 11 books. Like I said, you're a prolific writer. Is there one that's your favorite?
No, every book is different. None are the favorite, but I really like The Curse of Prometheus because it's very accessible and it's the part of the whole martyrdom. And it's a surrealistic. It's a modern poem, and it's also based on older forms. So that's probably one of my favorite books.
What is meant by revenge of art?
Well, because I guess because I'm a little spoiled, but because I had to work all my life and couldn't become like a popular artist, I wrote these long poems that weren't popular, and I couldn't get them published until there was online bookstores, and that was just recently I started 2017. I did the Prometheus the Firebringer, and then only in the last 2 years I've started to publish my books because they're online. All the online stores have them. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, Walmart. They all have my books. Aubrey's, and they're all have my books, and they take them for free. To get them in the bookstores, you have to pay marketers money and stuff. The distributor has to get them in. You have to pay them money. So I was never able to do that, and that's why I was a little revengeful. But I'm not. It shouldn't be violent revenge, like storming the Capitol or anything like that. It has to be art. It has to be the 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 press is better than the sword is better than the sword. The pen is better than the sword. I'm
Exactly.
sorry,
The pen is mightier than the sword. Absolutely.
sword.
The internet has been a game changer when it comes to publishing because it also connects you to your targeted audience. You know, there's a certain group of people who are fascinated by the Curse of Prometheus, and you're able to connect with them, which I think is great.
Yes, I have just started to promote my books on Twitter, and they're getting a good response. I have to pay for that, but it's not expensive, and I'm getting good response, and so that's that. Uh, uh, I can target an audience with my books on Twitter, and that's what I've been just started to do.
Absolutely. Now, one of your more recent books is called The Curse of Jesus of Nazareth. Tell me a little bit about that book.
Well, I'm an atheist, so I believe really in the old natural religions of Greek and Rome, which I talk about in the Curse of Prometheus, and that was destroyed by Jesus's followers. And the Curse of Prometheus is mainly about not so much about Jesus, though it has the crucifixion and the trial. It doesn't have the resurrection, but it has, because I don't believe in that, but it has a crucifixion and a trial of Jesus. But his followers did a lot of horrible things over the years. Uh, and they're in there about Constantine, ended tolerance, and started putting people, excommunicating people. And a lot of times the Pope punished people like Galileo and Giordano Bruno, sent him to this. Giordano was burnt at stake. The Anglicans did it to Marlowe. They took him to trial for an atheist, and he got killed in a fight, in a fight. And some people say he was assassinated. And there's a whole history I have in the book of the wrongdoings of the followers. And one follower who I think destroyed Roman the Roman the Romans weren't perfect, but they had a great learning tradition, and I I follow that in the poem. Do all the authors of the great authors of Rome, and was Thomas was uh, Augustine of Hippo, which was Saint Augustine, and he wrote the City of God, but he took man away from the city of man, and take worrying about the world, and worrying about an afterworld, and they abandoned nature, and of the with the Greeks and the Roman religion did, even though they had sacrifices and that stuff. And in the 19th century, uh, uh, not the natural religions came up with science, and that's what I kind of believe in, the natural religions. And really, if you neglect nature as we do today, we're going to be destroyed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Science is definitely vital, definitely important. Are you working on anything new right now?
No, I'm typing up the Triumph of Death, which I'm almost finished. I have 179 pages done. Most books are only 50 or 100 pages, but this one was longer, and I'm almost done typing it up, because there was no Word in those days, and that was a computer poem too, and it's about World War II, the French Revolution, my life, and also about the socialist formation after the war. But it's an anti-Hitler poem. I believe World War II was justified war.
Absolutely, absolutely. It certainly was, considering what was happening with the atrocities carried out by the Nazis. If there was ever a reason to fight, that certainly was one.
And he was a very deceptive person, very deceptive.
Yep, yep, absolutely. He had fooled his people, Adolf Hitler, for sure. Well, your work is phenomenal. 11 books and counting. The Curse of the Prometheus, just like all of the others, are available online. You can get them on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and you can download them or you can get the physical copies as well. Stephen Sweigart, it's been fascinating talking with you. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really needed it, and thank you very much.
My pleasure. And to the viewers at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.